Campfire Revival. Are y'all ready for this? I asked y'all, are y'all ready for this? Alright then, let's do it. What's up guys? My name is Simon, and this is a story of the American Campfire Revival. Not the story, but a story. A story in which we go behind the scenes all the way from night 1 to night 100. A story of how it's impacted and inspired lives. And a story of a nation built with God as its foundation and what we can learn from it and apply today. This is a story of the American Campfire Revival. And I hear the best place to start with any story is at the beginning. So, that's where we're starting. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He created a garden with animals and trees with fruit. But he didn't stop there. He also created people. He created these people because he wanted a relationship with them. He wanted to walk with them and for them to walk with him. But because they sinned and because God was holy, they were separated. And the only way that these people who once walked with God could walk with him again would be through a holy and a clean and a perfect sacrifice. In order to have that relationship with God again, in order to walk with God again, we needed a Savior. 2020 was a year unlike anything many people had experienced. In 2020, there was chaos and there were people in need of a Savior, a fatherless nation that needed a guide to walk with them, to show them what was right and what was wrong, what was the truth and what the lies were. To provide stability, but also boundaries to protect. We were in need of a loving Father. 2020 ultimately became a year in which we realized how much we needed a Father and how much we needed that relationship with God, our Father, as individuals and as a country once again. 2021. Each year, my family and I each choose a word of the year. And the word God gave me for 2021 was reliant. Reliant with the purpose of choosing to rely on God rather than rely on ourselves. Because you see, when we look to God's eternal strength rather than our own temporary fading strength, He guides us in what we need to do, and we can walk with Him once again. Fast forward a few weeks into the year, and my mom tells me about this guy named Kirk Cameron. Kirk who?
Kirk Cameron. You know, he played in Left Behind, like we just watched those movies Left Behind, like a couple months ago.
Yeah,
Run Plains, Fireproof. You know, okay,
Sure.
Anyway. Okay, look at this, check this out. He is doing an American Campfire Revival.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like for 100 days. I mean, dude, this is so cool. Like, you've been praying for revival for over a year.
I wonder, what if I did something like that? And then we pray before bed, and we go to bed. Although I wasn't completely familiar with what in the world was going on, that had to be one of the longest prayers of my life, at least so far. As we were praying, I felt my heart beating, like I was supposed to do something. I didn't really know what it was or how, but I was ready to do it right then and there. I was ready to not even go to bed that night, but I felt that I needed to wait until the morning. And so, the next day, I set out on what would be the start of a new chapter. I started making videos inspired by Kirk Cameron, guided by and reliant on God, with the purpose of seeking revival. And if I'm honest, these videos were not always as smooth as they may have seemed like they were. Funny story. In fact, quite a few times, I'm not even joking, like this happened a lot, but quite a few times I'd film an entire video to only realize that my phone had stopped recording. but I usually took that as God giving me grace to say something differently. From the moment I first heard about the 100-day plan, during that long prayer I just told y'all about, I felt that I had been led to be a part of this somehow, and that there was a purpose behind it. Even if I didn't see it clearly, I knew there was a plan. I learned more about and why we needed to be reliant on God, and that He was to be our guide, and we could once again look to Him as our guide, just as our founding fathers did. Kirk went through the American Covenant, which I am now a proud owner of, and the details of this reliance that our founding fathers had on God, and how as a result of a covenant that was made in faith, an American covenant, America grew to be a nation that relied and put their faith and their trust in God. These are the ways I have been inspired by the American Campfire Revival, but I also had the opportunity to go to the American Campfire Revival Live 100-day event. And while I was there, I had the opportunity to stand up and tell Kirk and everyone there about how I had been inspired.
Yeah. Day 83?
While I was there, I also decided to ask some others how they had been inspired by the American Campfire Revival.
All right, so how has the American Campfire Revival impacted you?
It's impacted me as far as educating me on how the pilgrims, they came from Europe and they settled over here, and they were basically outcasts in England, and they came here to start a new life on how this country was founded on Judeo-Christian values.
So, Joy, how has the American Campfire Revival impacted you?
Well, let me hold this. Okay. In January, after, we start in the new year, and just like Kirk talks about, I just really felt myself to be in a kind of a dark place, and just that frustration and confusion and what is happening and how can this be happening. And I was really searching for a way to make myself to feel better. And so I changed. I sing in a worship. I'm in a praise band, so I sing. But I really made a conscious effort to really put really good stuff in, because I good in, good out kind of thing. And then he started the campfire, and it was truly the most positive thing and full of hope. It gave me hope. It just, from the get-go, and I do love history, so I've enjoyed learning or relearning some of those things and sharing. I am a teacher. I teach Spanish, but I've also taught geography and things like that. So, I like to learn.
And it's kind of opened my eyes up, reflecting back on what this country was founded on and to where we've gotten to now. Because I think as our society has gotten away from those Judeo-Christian values, and to rectify situations in today's society, it's opened my eyes up that the rectifying it all starts at the family unit.
But really, just what hooked me was the joy and the hope that it gave me in a time where I was starving for that.
Your family unit being your mother, father, the kids. So we got to start there, raise our kids in a godly Christian manner.
And now we just, we are a day behind. We didn't get last night, but we'll get it. I like to listen to it when I walk if I need to, or when I'm getting ready in the morning. Try to get to it after the time change. I lose track of time because it'll get dark on me, and then it's tiring. But anyway, we watch it all the time, and it really has just it's just really impacted me in such a way that it's just that hope and that joy and the fellowship. It's crazy having fellowship online, but truly we do. So that's how.
To what is going on, I think Kirk, what he's doing, I really am thankful for that. Hopefully it widens our society up to, hey, we gotta wake up, you know, and do something about it.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, thank you. That was very well spoken.
thank you.
In the end, revival means to live again, which we can do as a result of our relationship with God and as a result of Jesus' holy, clean, and perfect sacrifice in which he overcame death. He defeated the grave so that way we can know God. We can once again live and walk with God just as we did in the garden. And once we live and abide in God, he abides in us. See, in order to be a nation, once again, that is guided and reliant on God, we must first individually humble ourselves before him, acknowledging our need of a Savior, a perfect sacrifice. And then we can gather as a result of the love that God has shared with us and look to him as our cornerstone. Once he abides in the individuals, he abides in us, and he can abide in the nation. When we as a nation and as individuals are abiding in God and he in us, he shows us right from wrong and separates the truth from the lies. And as a result of abiding in him, the love and the joy and the peace and the patience and the kindness and the goodness and the faithfulness and the gentleness and self-control all flow out of us naturally as a result of something that can only happen by abiding in him. The fruits of the Spirit. In the end, when we're gathered together as a community, just as we do around a campfire, it truly becomes the American Campfire Revival. And the fire starts with you and me, choosing to be reliant on God, bringing the wood and surrendering what he has given to us so that he can light the fire.
All right, guys, here we go.
Do it! Oh. I don't really know whether to be nervous or excited. I'm definitely excited. Let's do this. I thought I'd show this van because it says, "What's your plan?" And then it has the American Campfire Revival. Cool job, people.
That saved a wretch like me. That saved a wretch like
We're gonna pour some. Do we have the other liquid besides? Need some vodka in that thing? Where's your flamethrower?
Yeah, get the flamethrower.
Where's your torch, Kirk? Yeah, you want to see that torch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't bring that, but I know who here actually got one of those torches and brought it home.
Oh my gosh.
So, okay.
Please be careful.
Oh, just a little bit. A little nuclear explosion.
Thank you guys so much for watching. So I'm so happy that I could have you join me for this and for this behind the scenes look at the American Campfire Revival, both mine and Kirk's, at least a little bit of how it's inspired me and some others, and even the 100-day event. I want to encourage you to pray for our nation and to humble yourself before the Lord, because we, as we just talked about, we are flawed, and because we're flawed, we need God as our guide. And when we look to God as our guide, he shows us what we need to do, and he directs. So humble yourself before the Lord. And I want to share this verse with you real fast, and it's kind of been the standout verse for me during this time. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. I want to encourage you real fast before you go to share this. Share this on Facebook, share it with texting, share it whatever way you want to share it. Share it. If that even means by applying it, share it. And don't just let this be something to where you walk away from like, dude, that was fun, that was cool. No. Walk away prepared for battle. This is not the end, but only the beginning. I'll see you guys next time. God bless.